Good morning, everyone. This is Jynnette The Oracle. Welcome to Oracle Talks. I hope that you are doing oh so very well. I have some quick announcements. I have updated my schedule, so the schedule for the next week, because remember, I do weekly updates to my schedule because my schedule is different each week. So it has been updated for next week. So if you would like to book a session with me, you can go ahead and do so. You can check out the link in the description below for how to figure out the types of lessons lessons and sessions I do offer, and choose what works best for you. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on the contact page of my website, which of course is innersinalchemy.com, which you see at the bottom of the screen there. We are coming into Sagittarius season, so these messages today are going to be about preparing for that season, and it's going to be guided by the information that came through in the 2026 Spiritual New Year channeling. The Spiritual New Year channeling I do every autumn equinox because for me that is when the spiritual new year is. Not the calendar new year, but the spiritual new year when we receive messages and spiritual downloads before the kind of physical manifestation occurs. So I did get answers to messages in that channeling as well as month by month messages. So if you want to go deeper into some of the things that I'm going to be discussing today and also get a heads up for what to expect in terms of the world and the divine guidance for navigating that for the months ahead, please do check that out. And the link is in the description below for your convenience. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please comment, you know the deal, because it helps circulate this within the YouTube ecosystem. And for those of you who do not know, I should have said this at the beginning, my name is Jynnette The Oracle, and I am founder and CEO of Inner Sun Alchemy. Welcome, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. It's so good to see you. Okay, so got those out the way. I think that actually was it, just the schedule updates and then info about the the November 2026, November 2025 astrology forecast report is actually out on the blog. So if you want to dive into the astrology for the month ahead and receive both personal insights for specific transits as well as business guidance, you can read that as well. And that's on the blog page of the website. Okay. Today I'm sipping on rooibos tea. This beautiful color I love. And normally it'd be sunny in California, but right now we are in the middle of our rainy season. So it's kind of cloudy out there, so it's a little bit more dim. It was going to be raining for several more days. It's already been raining a few more days, but it's going to be raining for several more days. So yeah, we are just enjoying this being inside. We give thanks. As you come in, please do say hello. Let us know where you're joining from and what you are sipping on. And if you would like, share how the last few weeks have been for you. If you haven't been here for a while, or if you were here last week, let us know how the last week has been for you, how you're feeling, etc. Now for today, we do have a special treat because, or a special gift, I should say, is that we'll be doing an energy transmission from Mother Source because it was what's available and was on my spirit to do. And also, it was a reminder to me about where we are right now in terms of our zodiac experience, if you will. So right now, this time of the year, we do have the sun essentially lining up from our perspective with the galactic center. So when we look at the sun in the sky, it's lining up with the great central sun, the great central core of our Milky Way galaxy. And that generally spans like the latter degrees of Scorpio, which is where we're in now, through Sagittarius and a little bit into the beginning of Capricorn. Okay, so With that being said, the great central sun is kind of like the highest light for all of the stars, all of the suns in the Milky Way galaxy. It is that core essence, that core divine consciousness within which like we all gravitate towards. But planets to the sun to the greater sun, if you will, or the greater center, because we don't technically know what's there. Could be a black hole, could be could be a great sun. We don't know, but as far as I know, we don't know. I try to stay up on the science, but if someone knows, definitely let me know. But the when we see that alignment from our perspective of the sun with there, it actually puts us in a beautiful divine electromagnetic flow, electromagnetic river, with those high frequency galactic dispensations, as I like to say. So in general, that time period now is definitely there and available. We've been getting some extra boost from the sun. Also, I've been mentioning that in the community posts on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. I mentioned that in the last Oracle talks about how we've been getting these solar flares, and it's helping this kind of liberatory process that we're in. And things just like have really lit up this week. We've had like a couple of solar flares that were X class, which is one of the highest classes. So like it's been very active. So I know all of my spiritualists, light workers, gatekeepers, etc. Like you've been, I'm sure, feeling all the things and experiencing all the things. So, but yeah, I woke up today and Mother Source I've been sitting with Mother Source a lot, not only for my own personal journey, but also, I think also as a beautiful consequence of being in the 60 days of open heart meditation journey that I'm in, for those of you who are participating, hey. And yeah, just she's been transmitting some beautiful energies and experiences. So I'm going to hold space for that for us right now, actually. So you can go ahead and sit nice and comfortable. Feet can be flat on the floor. You can sit cross-legged, whatever is most comfortable for you. Palms up in the lap. Okay. And you can either have eyes open or closed, whatever feels best for you. And you're going to bring your conscious awareness to the present moment. And when I say present moment, I mean really being present in this moment in your body. So purposefully dropping any thoughts or concerns of the past, any projections into the future, any daydreaming tendencies where you create scenarios in your mind. And fully drop into the present, into your physical body. And choosing specifically not to try to come out of the moment, even though your thoughts might want to pull you somewhere else. When thoughts arise, because it's not a matter of if they will, they will. But when thoughts arise, bring them into the present. Let the gravity of your love of the moment pull them in. Bring them into the presence of Mother Source itself. Consciously open up your energy field, feeling it expand, soften. Softening in those places where you may be defensive or maybe holding, but strengthening in those places where your energy field may be weak. Declare harmony and wholeness and unification of your body, your mind, your spirit, your heart, especially your heart. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and receive this energy transmission. To be clear, I'm not sending energy. I'm holding like attainment field so that Mother Source directly communes with you consciously, infusing you with a restorative energy. May you know that Mother Source is right where you are, has always been and always will be there. Feel peace and clarity of mind, open and lightness of heart, and steady relaxation in the body. Again, keeping the eyes open to fully embody and receive. Becoming hyper aware of self, of your soul, and of this communion. Continuing to breathe. And now we'll shift into a brief meditation, closing the eyes. Continuing to breathe. Share in communion with me. Continue to receive the energy transmission. Do not stop the immense flow. Last minute. Okay. So, how did that feel? Hopefully, really yummy. Hopefully, really yummy. But let me know, of course, in the comments. The energy transmission will remain ongoing throughout this Oracle Talks. And as you are guided, even more now that you have a sense of what this kind of feels like, you can tune into that frequency and share in that communion for days to come, if not longer, weeks and months. So the month ahead, I'm trying to get myself back into this moment. So as I mentioned, we are coming into the Sagittarius season, and for the spiritual new year messages, this was the third month. And in case you don't remember the cards that came through for that, it was the Seven of Wands for the kind of things that we would be dealing with, and the guidance overall was about specifically around defense. So previously, and we're currently in this month for the Scorpio month, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, and I was speaking about there being, in terms of collectively what those of us in the light would be experiencing, just in general, people be experiencing, not just us, is like this emotional manipulation kind of thing to get us or compel us to move in a particular way, to do certain things, etc. And, since it's, these messages were coming through as collective messages, it's going to relate to people in different situations and different circumstances. But definitely for us here in the United States, this has been showing up very specifically around the government shutdown and the suspension of SNAP benefits to those who use EBT to be able to, eat. So, and the manipulation around that of withholding funds, withholding, contingency funds, et cetera, and just the manipulation stuff. So that to me is primarily how a lot of that was being played out. There obviously have been many things happening, but that has been the main thing, the manipulation thing that's been going on. But what had come through when I was doing those the year ahead messages is the coming into the Seven of Wands month, which is the Sagittarius season, which is starting next week, was a more direct conflict energy. So more outward, active aggression, and having to deal with things that were more direct and fierce, so to speak, because of that Seven of Wands energy. So, I don't know what that will ultimately look like for us here in the States. I'm sure we made apparent, but it definitely was giving more so along the lines of physical aggression, military aggression, things like that. So that could be, a rise in activities for ICE. It could actually be military incursions into cities. Like, I don't know. But again, it's going to depend on context and where you are, because, you know, context matters. So with that being said, and it specifically being an uptick in that energy, it was interesting to see that the divine guidance for that month overall was defense, like needing to be and have defense and be on the defensive. It wasn't an offensive energy, meaning it wasn't like go on the attack or go after things. I think that was coming up later after review. But it definitely was, you know, the message was defense. So for this month, then, in terms of preparing for the month ahead, I wanted to dive a little deeper into what that might mean for folks for each of the zodiac signs. So we're going to be going sign by sign, and you can engage with the signs as you see fit, whether that's rising, sun, moon, north node. You know, it's really going to depend on what is resonating most for you. But as I go through each sign, and, you know, depending on time, because I have to get to the next session at 10, you know, I'll provide as much context as I can with the cards. I already have them out because I knew I was going to be doing this energy transmission, so I didn't want to spend time getting those out, because I had a feeling that the time was going to go a bit long with that, and I wouldn't have as much time to go into too many details. But if anything in this does really resonate with you, you know, like I said, feel free to book a session. Info is below, and we can discuss what this might look like for you specifically in your particular circumstance. Also, if you would like to just in general support my work, you can make a donation. The donation information is scrolling at the image below at PayPal, and the link is also in the description below. I would deeply and greatly appreciate it. So starting off with Aries, and I will update timestamps later. Your guidance for this month in terms of how best to be and have strong defense is the closing card. So that immediately is giving me the impression of like needing to close certain doors, not look back, not leave an opening for someone, something to come through, or to be able to affect you, or to be able to shake, you know, your foundation or what have you. So that's what's coming through for you. The clarifying card for that is the Emperor card. I think this actually is more so specifically having to do with you getting control of the beliefs that you hold to and the ones that you do not. And not letting certain beliefs derail you. And instead standing in your power, because there might actually be a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty around you, a lot of things that are just kind of not stable, understandably. But your mindset or your beliefs about things are actually going to be making it worse and cause you to not take the best actions. So, you know, this is not saying in any way, shape, or form to not feel the things that you are feeling. Like, you know, if there's fear-inducing stuff, if there whatever is there, like, it's important for you to feel it and move through it, but to take action from a grounded state. And the faster you want to be able to take action and to be proactive in whatever it is you need to be proactive in, is going to require that decision to sit with those emotions, if that is coming up for you. But it feels like almost kind of being of two minds about something and really having to grapple with something. It seems primarily to be either at home or work money stuff. I mean, to be honest, Aries, I do get the sense that like all of the foundational kind of survival areas of life are the things that are being impacted right now, which is why this is kind of coming up. So protect your mind. Feel what you need to feel, but protect your mind. And it's, you know, close off that stuff. That's not you. That's not your truth. That's not your true soul nature. You can handle what you need to handle. If you feel like there's been, you know, betrayal in the family, betrayal in a friends group or whatever, you do still have broader community that you can tap into for resources, even if it's just one person. But it's important for you to ask and to voice what is there, because help will come. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, Taurus. You have the masculine card. So, which is kind of like the Emperor card, right? That Aries just had, but this is your card. So this is how you go on the defense, is sitting in this masculine energy. Now, the word I'm getting specifically with this is proactive. Keyword proactive. So take action. That's how you can be on the best defense this month. So proactive can mean, first and foremost, being proactive about how you choose to create your mental state, create your emotional state, create your physical experience, the things that you have control over. You know, to wake up and be like, you know, have your meditation, exercise, do whatever you need to do, eat good food, and to choose, regardless of how other people choose to act, how they choose to move or whatever. I know who I am. I know my power. I know what I'm going to be fazed by and not going to be fazed by. I know what battles to fight, etc. I've been here, done that, got the t-shirt for it. I can handle it, right? It's kind of that, like, starting your day, starting your month, taking the actions from that place of like, you know, I got this. Things are going to happen, but I'm in control of how I show up and how I feel, how I think, how my body moves, right? The clarifier for that is the Nine of Swords. So there's going to be a lot of little fears popping up that are going to try to sabotage you. This is different from Aries' message, because with Aries, it very much was giving that vibe of a lot of physical things, like just going through it, like having turmoil, like a lot of actual like obstacles. For you, Taurus, it doesn't seem so much that. It seems more so things indirectly related to you, meaning not directly impacting your life, right? So it could be things happening to people you know. And I'm saying people you know, like, could be family, but again, just not directly related to you. Of course, broader societal issues, right? These types of things. These can be ways that this negative, malevolent energy can kind of seep in and be a way to derail you. So the way that you can defend against that is to see that for what it is and be proactive about your mindset, really your mindset, how you show up and how you choose to feel, seeing the glass refillable, not even half full, but refillable. And that level of like intentionality and proactive energy is what is needed to be brought here in order to defend effectively from these essentially spiritual battles, because all physical battles are also spiritual battles. both direct battles and indirect battles. Let's see if I have anything else for you in general. Yeah, it feels, I mean, there's really not much going on for you directly. Like, you feel fine. I think it's, again, it's other folks stuff, and you just have to, you don't have to, but you're guided to stay in your own light. You don't have to um you don't have to harmonize with struggle in order to liberate it. I'm gonna write that down. That is a word. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Alrighty, so Gemini. Your card is pass. So this is how you can be on the defensive and or have a strong defense. So this is very much about being on your dharmic path, i.e. doing what it is that you are supposed to be doing. Sorry, my eyes itching. Okay. So yeah, doing what you're supposed to be doing. The Six of Wands, not Wands, Six of Swords is clarifying this. What's coming through from this image, yes, going on your dharmic path or what have you, but it is also an ascending path. And there was an interesting message that was coming through about it's time to move on to the next step of whatever the development is for you. I mean, definitely spiritual development. It's time to move on to the next stage of spiritual development. But also in general, it's time to move on because you've completed the current step that you're on. So it's kind of like, you know how in video games, more so like adventure type video games, or even this is a motif that you find often in like the Indiana Jones movies, or even like Lara Croft movies, where the main character, the protagonist, is running across a floor or a bridge connecting one area to another area, and it starts to fall away, and they have to like keep going. It's kind of like, not that that's literally happening for you, but it's kind of like that. It's like you completed the step, like you need to move on to the next one, because staying on the one that you are currently is going to put you in a place where essentially you're inviting attack, right? Like that area that you're in, that state that you're in, that phase of spiritual development you're in, whatever, is now going to be ripe for attack. So it's like, it's time to move to the next step so that you can like kind of get away from that. So it's that kind of vibe. So wherever you are on your path is irrelevant, or whatever the context is, it doesn't matter. You'll ultimately end up seeing what this is as you go throughout the month, but keep moving, go to the next step. Don't stay on the current place of Libra. There's not more there for you to engage with. And that's how you will have the best defense and have the strongest defense, right? Because Six of Swords is literally about moving on. So keep it pushing, basically. All right, Cancer. You have the card of healing. So this is your defense, or how to strengthen your defense, either way. So healing can mean a lot of things. I'm getting the word communion with you. So this communion piece may be necessary to kind of get you finally on a, well, I want to say finally, but no, finally on a new path, right? So if you can see here in this image, the golden dharmic path versus the typical kind of like average life path without like proactive engagement. They pretty much would, ride the same, but there's a point of bifurcation, of divergence that we're coming upon here, where, if you don't choose to take that quote unquote dharmic path, you'll just continue on that average kind of looping journey that you've already kind of been on. Or you could take one that is going more to like this unknown, quote unquote, unknown space, but really is a space of deeper communion. So yeah, communion is the key here for not only in general, like spiritual development, but specifically for defense. Because it essentially keeps you inaccessible from lower energies. Because lower energies can reach here, but there's a point where they can't actually go any further. This is almost, I mean, real talk, this is giving me almost the vibe of the elliptical path along the galactic center. And then just like kind of being unbound from whatever this particular gravitational axial line is, and then being able to instead shift towards the galactic center itself, right? And no longer being accessible from outside energies beyond the arm, because you're getting closer here, so it's not able to actually penetrate. There's more defense by association, because the clarifier is a devil card. The clarifier is a devil card. So, I mean, that's as intense and as dark and malevolent as you can get. Now, this runs the gamut from spirit all the way down to the physical. So this could be person, place, thing, as well as spiritual malevolence. It could be one or all, depending on, a person's situation. Since it's such a strong card, let me see what else is there around that, because the devil is not a not a good energy. So could be issues in home life or with family. Also could be issues with associations, groups that you're with. Yeah, actually, both friends groups as well as like broader associations. So it feels more people around you, relational. Home, friends, larger association groups, if it's in the physical. And if it's in the spirit, if it's in the spirit, it's not ancestral. It's something that has come up in this particular life. So it's not past incarnational stuff. It's this life. Whether it's, things that you may have engaged in or just circumstantial, you're just around and alive now, and this opportunistic energy is just it's not even like personal or specific to you. It's just you're there among others. So, because again, this is a collective of Cancer energy. So also depending on where people have this in your chart, this may be coming up. So take that as it resonates, y'all. Okay. But communion is the key. That is the defense. That's what's going to actually be the strongest defense for you. All right, Leo. You have the transformation card. One of my favorite cards in this deck. It's beautiful. So your defense is this transformation. Your clarifier is the 3 of Swords. This transformation card more so talks about the alchemical path. So yes. So rather than like balancing two halves of a whole, didn't this come up for you last week as well too? I can never remember fully what comes to, because I just channel and I let it go. I feel like something similar came up for you, but if it did, like reference that from last week. But yeah, you see there's, the moon there and there's this dual energy, but it's not about two halves making a whole. It is one cohesive whole with different expressions and just ways of operating. So there's something in this about like that integration is going to be the best defense for you in the midst of these attacks. So or obstacles or aggression, whatever that's going to look like for you and for us collectively this month. So I guess to capsulize this, rather than thinking either or, having that mindset of both and. Now, the Three of Swords, clarifying that is interesting because the Three of Swords talks about betrayal, but also can talk about heartbreak or like, grief over something not working out that you thought would. So, there could have been too much of an identification or rigidity or even zealousness. I don't even think zealousness is a word, but you get what I'm saying. There might have been too much of that around a particular position, like this is the right position or this is the way to do it. And then that way of doing things, that mindset, that framework didn't work. And it caused, grief. It caused you to question yourself, et cetera, et cetera. Might have had issues within the relationship community, whatever. But the lesson is that it's never a one and done thing. It's always multi-pronged, multimodal, integrated, multidimensional kind of thing, right? So your defense, your best defense this month, and the strongest defense is something around that. I'm not getting a strong sense of like where specifically this is going to be showing up in life. So I think it really is just going to be, it's more of an internal mindset thing, similar to Taurus. So, take that as you will. Virgo. You have making real. So this is your best defense or strong defense. Way to strengthen defense this month. So this is actually feeling like togetherness. So isolation is not the key. Figuring out on your own is not the key. And it's not even so much that you have to plan with others or create with others, but I think just in general, being with other people, sharing, laughing, crying, doing all the things is the best defense. If it leads to plans, if it leads to creations or whatever, that's fine, but it doesn't really feel like the objective here. It could be. I mean, there are a lot of hands here, so that talks about purposeful, proactive creation. But I think to start specifically with the heart first and sharing and communion, which is not necessarily where you tend to lead or start with first, Virgo. I say that with love. I think starting from that place of sharing and community and communion is being with people. It doesn't have to be like large groups, but just start making the effort. Again, if you've fallen off, or increase it, right? If you already kind of do it, but engage with it. That's going to be your best defense this month to dealing with these things. The 10 of Wands is the clarifier for that. So yeah, that talks about like just being burdened on your own with things, trying to figure out how to kind of unravel from stuff. Now, you might not even necessarily be directly dealing with something, but just, indirect stuff could be showing up or what have you. But yeah, this is a month for community for you. I mean, that's really what it is. I'm not really seeing anything that's a cause for concern. I would just say that this connection with others really needs to be on a friend level rather than like networking kind of thing. Okay. Obviously you can still network, but this sharing energy is more so like with people that you already have connections with that are healthy, loving, wise, etc., and communing with them. Okay. Libra, you have reaching. This is your card. It's going to be kind of hard to see. There's not as much sun now with all this rain, so it's going to be hard to see the visual in that, but that's your card. So this is your suggested defense or the way to strengthen existing defenses for this month. This is feeling very much spiritual. Like this is giving me actively working with your energy body, your chakras, and reaching to new vibrational hearts. Like this, literally, like this axis of violet light here, which we tend to associate with the sixth level. So the soul heart level. But yeah, strive to reach to that if you already are comfortably there, or have, whatever, are familiar with this. Like this is where you need to be spending time with. The clarifier is the death card. So this is deep transformation. This does also represent like a lot of, there's also a tough energy, similar to what like Cancer was coming up for Cancer. So if you do have strong Cancer placements, you may actually want to watch the Cancer message. You feel strong though. Not that Cancer wasn't strong, but like your energy feels more on the warrior side of things. Yeah, so, but regardless, this is a spiritual thing for you, but specifically like soul heart. Or sixth dimensional level of the aura, working with the energy body there. What is this? 1 second. This almost feels like a choosing life, which is a heavy thing to kind of say, especially around this time, because this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, obviously we have less and less light, and like seasonal depression can start to come on, and, those types of things may be popping up for folks. I'm definitely not speaking that over you. I hope that's not the case. But if that is, like, the best defense around, these types of questions, existential questions, is the heart of your soul. Not even human heart, but the heart of the soul. Now, everything is still at the foundation here in this life, built upon your humanity. So it's not like you can disavow what's on your heart, what's on your mind, etc. Like all of that actually is necessary as part of the foundation, is to be part of the process. So all of you is in the soul heart, not just this idea of soul heart. Okay. Yeah. This is interesting as I'm like sitting in with your energy more now, Libra. It seems actually like if you've been feeling or thinking that you are not making progress in your life in the external world, you know, whether that's career, relationships, whatever, but definitely like outside, right? And usually has to deal with like you in the world, how you're seen in the world, what you have, resources, etc. Like, but again, outside stuff. Um, if you feel like that's been stuck, hasn't been able to move or what have you, the focus is to be internal and the personal. And that is where all of the power, the vast power that you have is. I can see specifically um, what could be emotional block because of a lack of expressing or fully settling into the authenticity of your heart. But once you do that, like you're going to see and realize that like there's so much there. And the dharmic path that you were seeking ultimately will emerge from that rather than being something outside that you obtain. That makes sense. What's another way to say this? Oh, the inner creates the outer. So whatever that next stage is for you is created by this work in the spirit, and it's not a mental projection. Air sign. It's not a mental projection because a mental projection has been crafted from the previous tools, experience, etc., that you had that created what you achieved to this point. So whatever's next actually does, if it's going to be more, higher, better, dharmic, right? It actually has to be birthed from something higher, more divine, more dharmic, which is not of this world. So if you want the supernatural expression, yeah. I know this is the death card, but the imagery always gives me the moon. The moon card looks very similar, but yeah, you got this. I think you're getting it now. I think you're getting it now. The Your job is to hold the polarity on in the spirit so that the physical can take shape and match that. Right? So you really are doing and embodying mother goddess work, even though you might not realize it. But that's actually what this is like you're literally crafting the template for the physical world that you want, the physical experience that you want for your life. Again, not in mind, but led by and in communion with Mother Goddess, with Spirit. Is really oh, Libra, please let me know. Please let me know. I'm actually very curious. This is really lovely. Okay, moving on. Scorpio, because we do have to move on. You have preparing, which is actually the card for Scorpio season. which we're still in, but that is your defense for Sagittarius season, or the strengthening of defense that you already have. So that's the guidance. This feels actually more of a building energy. So you're still, it's essentially, it's feeling like whatever you have been in the process of devoting your attention, time, and resources to building, creating, it continues to need to have that focus and attention for the month ahead. So your focus and attention and resources, energy going into that thing is the best defense. So it's feeling like essentially like not squandering or allowing your energy or focus to be dissipated, essentially to be hijacked and diverted to something else. Okay. The clarifier is the Chariot card. Which tells me that a lot of things are pulling on your attention, understandably, both personally as well as in the world, obviously, because we don't live in a bubble. What I'm actually liking about the energy of the dragons here is it's coming to me as clarity on your part about the things that you value and the things that you really want to be mindful of and be connected to. And if those issues kind of pop up, like, yes, you will engage with it. But if it's not those one or two things or however many things, you're going to be quote unquote selfish, meaning like focused on what you need to, you're going to stay inside your thing. You're not going to come out of the Chariot unless it's, something related to those things that outside of you that, are important to focus on. So I like that for you, Scorpio. Like, really, it feels like you're starting to get a hang of it, so to speak. Take that as you will. All right. Sagittarius, happy birthday. You have the defeat card. This is interesting. This is your defense. And the clarifier is the King of Wands. This is seeming to me as like knowing when something is a lost cause or knowing when you can't win a battle and pulling your resources, moving on as quickly as possible without incurring, like further losses. But it's very conscientious. It's very aware. It astutely determines, what you're working with, what the other, whatever is person, place, or thing is working with, and what the outcome is going to be. If you and other, whatever other is more equally yoked, and yes, you fully engage because it's like, it's a coin toss, it's 50-50 who's going to win. But if you're dealing with other person, place, or thing that is, significantly overpowered compared to what you have available at your disposal, and can wield in terms of power, then you know not to fight. That's not weakness, that is strategy, because the point is to be able to fight the bigger fights. And if you're coming up against something that is like that much overpowered for you, it's not a battle. Like, just don't even, it's a waste of time. But this is representing wisdom. This is representing wisdom from being burned before, right? But you don't need to repeat that. You don't need to sit in pride and ego and be like, no, I can do it. Like, yes, you can do all things, but be smart. But be smart. Okay. That was short and sweet. Capricorn, you have the card manifesting. This is your defense. I love it. I'm getting the word proactive with you as well. So similar to Taurus. So you might want to watch the Taurus message. For you specifically, though, the difference is with Taurus, it was more of an internal work. This is more external. So this is you needing to physically do the things that need to be done in order to have the particular state of mind, the particular emotions, etc., physical outcomes that you want to have. This is less about a mindset thing and more about like getting directly to action. So there's more fire in it than anything else, which really means there's more heart in it than anything else. It's not an idea. It's like, okay, I'm ready and I'm going to move. Like that's the vibe, because your clarifier is the Four of Pentacles, which, you know, can talk about being closed off and what have you. But yeah, that's not going to serve you. You gotta push for it and go for it, but that's going to require opening your heart. And opening the heart is not to, this is not even to other people, unless this is specifically like a romantic relationship situation. But I would say no, because the romantic energy is not healthy. It seems a little toxic. It seems a lot toxic, actually. Whether you are in a committed relationship with somebody or if you're single and dating, the relationship energy is not good for Sagittarius season for you, Capricorn. I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting betrayal, I'm getting heartbreak, I'm getting cheating. Right. Now, if that is going on, that essentially can be the motivation you need to get on to other things, right? You can move from spite. That's an open heart because you're feeling what is there. You're making positive action in direction of your desires. But yeah, just FYI, money is fine, but yeah, this relationship energy is not cute. But regardless, for you, yeah, you need to get proactive on things. Mindset isn't enough now. You have the mindset. It's time to put things into action. All right, Aquarius, you have fear. This is your defense. Similar snake to the snake that came up for Leo, so which is your opposite sign. So you might want to watch the Leo message, because I mean it's basically like the same, even the same shape, but the color is different. So whereas Leo had like a lighter colored snake, you have the darker colored snake. But the markings are similar. This snake just doesn't have the moon in the circle there. Anyway, but this is your message. So it seems like your best defense is to really see what fear makes you do, and the various ways, the various clothes I'm hearing that fear can put on in the way it presents to you. So this could be showing up as, you know, addiction, sabotaging thoughts, depression, inability to focus, etc., etc. It can run the gamut, but this is all fear. So whatever tools you have, tools and resources you have at your disposal to address fear and move through it and to do what you need to do anyway, make sure you engage with that, because this is the thing that So fear is not a negative thing. If it's showing up for a reason. So it's literally like actual fear because there's something physically in your environment um, that will be a threat, whether that is, physical safety or um, violent words, being in a situation where you have, maybe a boss or a coworker who could potentially get you fired because of lies and things that are doing. Like, so there are justified reasons for fear. Like fear doesn't come up just out of nowhere. Okay. So there's that. And there's also, the fear that pops up when the unknown shows up in a positive sense. So it is always providing a lot of information. So get the information, take the information and run with it, and use it, because the clarifier is a 9 of Pentacles. So this is a power position for you. So essentially, don't let fear run your life, but use it as almost like or not even use it like that. Become an investigative journalist when it shows up, and recognize all the different ways that it can show up because of the various clothes that it has, and use that to your advantage to decide how you actually need to show up. Because in some cases, you do need to go on the offense and be more strategic about how you handle people's situations, etc. Other times you need to be like, oh, I am actually excited about this thing, or I might need more structure over here to create this, etc. And you're going to be more, you're going to be able to better navigate your inner world and the outer world. Okay. Pisces, last but not least, synchronicity is your card. Synchronicity is your card. So that is the defense that you're advised to take up or strengthen current defenses. So this is coming across very specifically as reading energy. Okay. So knowing when to move, knowing when you get the green light, knowing when things are pausing or stopping, whatever way that looks for you. It could be, working with the moon cycles, nature, communication. It could be, internal feelings, your clairsentience, whatever. But that's going to be your best defense, is moving when you know you need to move, pause when you need to pause, so that you kind of always stay in the light, and don't ever get touched by by the dark, right? Like you stay in this little spotlight of light on the ground, even though there's darkness around you. And as that light moves, okay, I move, and when it stops, I stop. Right? That's the vibe. The clarifier is the Queen of Earth here. That feels very much like managing, your actual resources. So knowing when to spend, when not to spend, being in control of that, budgeting wisely. This honestly is feeling a lot more like trusting your instincts more, rather than or more predominantly than intuition. And it's going to feel more predominantly, but actually what it's going to do is like bring more balance and harmony between the two. Because I think with intuition, there might be a bit too much mental ego interpretation that colors things. And there may actually be a truer message about things that are coming through that is going to be more instinctual, that you need to pay attention to. So there's that. All righty, y'all. This has been lovely. I really enjoyed these messages. If you're just joining now, please do definitely go back and enjoy the energy transmission that came through at the beginning, as well as the short meditation. Please make use of that as much as you can and as much as you want to. Please do share this video Donate if you have the means. You can find the info scrolling at the bottom of the screen here or in the description below. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the video. You know the deal. I hope everybody is doing well. Like I said, blessings to you. And God willing, I will see you next week as we officially enter Sagittarius season and have our new moon in Scorpio. Okay. Much love to you all. Have a great weekend. Bye.